Okay, let's jump right into this explainer because we are about to completely dismantle what you think you know about ancient spiritual technology. Today we're looking at the fascinating, incredibly rigorous world of mantra science, and we're drawing directly from the insights of Osman, also widely known as the Blind Muslim Yogi. He brings 50 years, half a century of advanced practice to the table as a master-level healer. And what he's going to show us today is that ancient yogic and meditation sciences aren't just, flowery philosophy. It's actually a highly specific scientific methodology. Since we're treating this topic as a structured science, we'll follow a clear roadmap. We'll start by moving beyond positive thinking, then break down the anatomy of a mantra, look at the strict rules of practice, dive into the mathematics of repetition, and finally explore what's called mystical maturation. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Beyond Positive Thinking. So what actually is a mantra? If you thought this was just about looking in the mirror and repeating a happy thought to get your day started, well, prepare to have your mind blown. Most of us think of a mantra as a quick, positive phrase to get us through a tough Monday. Something like, I am strong, or today's going to be a great day. But is that really the whole story? According to the ancient traditions Osman has spent his life studying, that modern interpretation barely even scratches the surface. See, we usually view mantras as simple affirmations to boost our mood. But ancient mantra science views them entirely differently. Osman points out that there are potentially 33 million of these ancient, powerful mantras. 33 million. And they aren't just, lying around in a library somewhere. The vast majority are kept completely secret or they've just been lost to time. These are highly specific, complex combinations of sounds designed to grant the practitioner very specific mystical powers. Moving right along to Section 2, the anatomy of a mantra. The crucial takeaway here is that a true traditional mantra is actually a three-part system. It's like a piece of spiritual machinery. First, you have the sound, those very specific vocal incantations. Second, you have a physical diagram, which is often called a tantra. And third, the mantra is linked to a specific deity. And we're talking about a powerful entity with a precise, often humanoid form. Some might look pleasant, some might have multiple heads or arms, and some might look downright terrifying. But they are exact and they are identifiable. Let's focus on that second part for a second, the diagram. Think of the tantra as a literal battery. Osman explains that this diagram is often carved into a small copper plate. As you recite the precise vocal incantation, the mystical power incrementally collects and stores itself right within this geometric form. Practitioners will actually roll this little copper plate into a tube and wear it on their body to keep that stored power intact. It's basically a physical hard drive for spiritual energy. Next up, Section 3, the rules of the practice. Now, if we're dealing with the technology, there's going to be a strict operating manual. And there's a fascinating duality here. On one hand, this ancient science is incredibly rigid about your physical life. The hygiene requirements are intense, absolute cleanliness, daily head-to-toe baths, impeccably clean clothes. The diet is usually strictly vegetarian, though there are some rare exceptions where certain deities actually require offerings of meat or alcohol. But here's the twist. There's total religious flexibility. Osman points out that you can be of any faith. You're completely free to experiment within the ambit of your own beliefs. Your mind remains completely your own. But here is the catch, and honestly, it's a huge one. Osman warns us that you can't just buy a book in Kerala, India, which is a major hub for this knowledge, or Google a mantra and start chanting it. It won't work. The true power has to be physically imparted to you by an empowered teacher who already holds the power of that exact mantra. It is a literal chain of transmission. Which brings us to Section 4, the mathematics of repetition. This is a fascinating, high-stakes numbers game. Using a traditional rosary of 108 beads, a practitioner has to complete a daily base set of exactly 1,080 recitations. That's 10 full rounds of the rosary. And the rules? Absolutely unforgiving. If you miss a single day, you lose all of your accumulated energetic progress, and you are starting right back at zero. I absolutely love how procedural this is. You are literally hacking a system. You hit your daily base of 1,080. But if you can make it to 10 days without breaking the chain, that's 10,080 recitations, you achieve what's known as the lock-in. At this point, the energy is safely locked into your system, meaning if you take a break, you won't lose your progress. And from there, the real work begins. You're aiming for massive thresholds of 100,000 recitations. Every time you cross a 100,000 milestone, you level up, and a brand new degree of mystical power is conferred to you. But wait, think about the logistics of that for a second. How on earth do you physically recite a long, complex incantation 100,000 times? Doing that manually would take weeks of nonstop talking. Well, Osman explains that as practitioners advance, they are gifted with a mystical speed. The mind and tongue begin to process every perfect syllable in a lightning-fast blur. He mentions actually hearing practitioners recite a long mantra 108 times in just a matter of seconds. It's so fast it literally just sounds like a hum. But if you were to slow the audio down, every single syllable would be perfectly pronounced. It's like the mind just completely transcends normal physical limitations.
Finally, let's explore the ultimate climax of this practice in Section 5, mystical maturation.
So, what happens when you finally hit these peak levels? The benefits are pretty extreme. First, you gain higher dispensations. This means the universe basically rearranges itself to make acquiring your desires, whether that's wealth or deep educational knowledge, incredibly easy. But even more profoundly, you experience the deity face to face. You actually see the entity via your third eye or your heart. Some mantras are even designed to show you terrifying entities, like fear personified. And why would you want that? Because once you stare down the physical embodiment of ultimate fear, absolutely nothing in the normal physical world will ever scare you again. You are completely, totally fearless. Osman actually experienced this maturation himself. He encountered a higher dimensional entity and noted that they don't speak like you or I do. They communicate entirely through instant telepathic thought downloads. You don't even need to ask their name. The moment you see them, their identity and their knowledge are just instantly downloaded into your consciousness. It's a pure entanglement of minds. So, knowing everything we've just covered, the incredible rigor, the daily hygienic rituals, the exact geometric diagrams, and the tens of thousands of perfect, lightning-fast repetitions required, the real question is, do you have what it takes to operate this ancient spiritual technology? It's a precise, unforgiving science with the power to drastically alter reality. The operating manual is wide open. Are you ready to do the math?